Hey, 6th grade, hope you had a good weekend and are ready for week 2 of the Corona quarantine. Today for math, we are talking about bisecting angles. So if you think about the root of that word, the prefix there, bi, means 2, and so we are cutting our angles in half. Our bisecting angles, though, it's not just any cut in half. It has to be exactly half. Each angle has to become two congruent angles, two angles that have the same amount of degrees. This can be done with a protractor or a compass. I prefer for us to use a protractor when possible because that is more exact in our measurement. A compass is a little bit more of an estimate. So for these angles, we'll start out with our protractor. I'm going to take it, put it on my vertex line, and measure the angle. If I measure this angle, follow that line, that's going to get me up to 120 degrees. Half of 120 is 60, so each of these bisecting angles should be 60 degrees. So I'm going to put a little mark at my 60. Then I'm going to turn my protractor. I'm going to make it line up with my vertex and with my dot that I put for the 60. And I'm going to draw a straight line. Okay, so then I would know that this angle over here is 60 degrees, and this is 60 degrees because they are both congruent. They bisect this obtuse angle, which was 120 degrees. Okay, so then let's look at this other one over here. We have, if we put our protractor on the vertex, line up our lines like so, that is going to get us, well, it's not a perfect one. Let's see. I want to make sure we're as close as possible. Line up our line right there. There we go. If I follow that, that's going to be at about 90 degrees. So half of 90 to make a bisecting angle would be 45. So I'm going to make sure this is still lined up. And I'm going to come over to where 45 is. That's going to be right there. Come down a little bit because it goes into the text. And then I'm going to line up the straight edge with my vertex and with my dot. And I'm going to draw a straight line. So we knew that this was 90, roughly. Now this angle is approximately 45 degrees, and this one is 45 degrees because they are congruent. If we're going to do these with a compass, we would simply put the sharp part here on the point, and we would draw an arc, a tiny arc. Like so. I know with the pencil it's a little harder to see on this. And then we would find the middle of that arc. So with our compass, it's a little less exact. That's why I prefer us using the protractor. So we would then line up our straight edge and draw our bisecting angle. The problem with this way is that we don't know what those two angles are. We can tell that they're acute, that they're less than 90 degrees, but we don't know the exact measurement. If I wanted to know the exact measurement, well, I would take my protractor, line it up, like so. That would get me to about 50, which means the whole black angle is 50 degrees, and each of these bisecting angles would be 25 degrees. So that is bisecting angles. I know it's not super complicated. Basically, you're measuring angles, dividing that by 2 to figure out what half of it would be, and then you're drawing the mark at that halfway. Make sure you're lining up your vertex dot on your protractor with the vertex on your angle. That's crucial. Make sure then that these lines here, you're following those and lining them up with your angle as well, because if that's off, then your measurement's going to be off. If you have any questions, please shoot me a message on Jupiter or talk to me on the daily Zoom chat at 10:30. Make sure you're getting your work turned in. I really appreciate all those of you who already have. Stay safe, wash your hands, see you soon.